What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those that are new to the channel, I am Joe Wilson, just your average done triathlete trying to make videos related to triathlon with swimming, biking, running. You can find all those cool things right here on this channel. And guys, this is part 3. I want to talk to you about the time I won the age group award. My first I've won the age group up there twice. And this was the first time. And also the first time I got on the podium in Chattanooga, which was huge. So going into 2018, I had just come off of a spectacular 2017 season. I was 4th overall at Augusta Amateur, won the age group by 10 minutes. It was the first time I ever gotten on the podium. I was like, yeah, baby, let's go. And then went to North Carolina, got 3rd there. I was crushing it. And so going into 2018, I'm like, I can't be beaten, you know? And then I did Haines City, and that humbled me. I mean, I remember being with some friends and be like, look, anything's possible. You could beat me. Yeah, they all beat me. So going into Chattanooga, I've been humbled a little bit. So needless to say. Anyway, I knew I was prepared for that race. And so going in, I was excited. I just bought a condo up there. I don't own it anymore. But at the time, that was now a home race for me. It was like a little getaway in Chattanooga, and I'd be there for the race and be able to train. So Chattanooga was my turf at that point in time. You know, it's like, I'm here to race, here to win, throw down. Anyway, 2018, I wouldn't say was that spectacular a race like some of the other years. You know, I had a decent swim, 24 minutes. I think I was 13th or 14th in the age group. That was still when you would swim 300 meters up and then all the way back down. I remember the day before the race, you know, you can go over and swim over on the North Shore and swim upstream and then come back and get out. And I remember just watching people swimming and not moving. And I'm like, it looked like a treadmill out there. At one point, I was watching these two people swim for like 5 minutes. I yelled out to them. I'm like, you're not moving. And then they looked at me and I'm like, yeah, dude, you just probably should get out now because you're not moving. So I knew the next day it would be pretty fast. And I don't know how, but when I jumped in, I got in that morning of around like 7:04. I remember looking up at the clock. And they let age groupers go off around 7 a.m. So I got in 4 minutes into the water. And I remember swimming upstream, and I got up there pretty fast. And when I turned around, the water just was moving. And I was like, this is great. This is great. I know the Tennessee River, if you're over against the shore swimming upstream, you can swim a lot faster than you can if in the middle, and vice versa. When you turn around, if you're in the middle of that river, it's going to push you pretty fast if it's moving. And that all depends on, you know, how much rain we've had or whatnot. So yeah, I had a great swim. I remember I was like 13th or 14th in the age group, you know, looking afterwards. But I come out and I'm ready to go, and I jump on my bike and I head out onto the bike course, and I'm putting out some good watts. And that was the year 2018 was when I learned how to like strategically race on the bike course. It used to be, you know, I would have my power, I would have, you know, Best Bike Split would tell me what to do, where to do this. When you have that many people out on the bike course, it's really hard to hold your consistent power. And I remember this kid at the time, Austin, he comes past me and he's like, you know, I drop back and there's like 12 meters between the two of us. And then I go into the draft zone and I passed him back. And then 5 minutes later, he passes me back. And then I probably passed him back after that. And at one point I said, I guess we're just going to ride the whole course together like this. And so he and I literally worked that whole entire bike course. I mean, I would sit back, and then when I got, you know, because you can get a good draft, you know, a 12-meter draft. Even if you're not on somebody's wheel, if you're sitting back far enough, you can still get a decent draft. And so probably most of the course we would switch every 5-10 minutes. We're not like coordinating it, but that's just the way it happened. He had a great bike too, and I just remember coming in. The one thing I do remember about this bike course other than the fact that I went 221 and had the fastest bike split. Two things I remember. One, about mile 38, I see this ambulance, and I'm thinking, oh, some stupid age grouper got into an accident. No, here's what happened. This guy, this former pro, Justin Park, lives in West Georgia. Really, really good pro. He was in the lead pack on the bike ride, and a bird flew through his wheel. And let me tell you, it looked like, I didn't see it personally, but what I've been told is exactly like Randy Johnson when, you know, he hit that bird with a baseball. It went through his spoke and just exploded. And when you're doing 35 miles an hour, you go from 35 miles an hour to like 0. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I think he broke his collarbone and, you know, messed up his shoulder really bad. After that, I don't think he would ever had the same race ever again after that. I'd seen him a couple times, but I think he's since retired, and I think that was the beginning of his end of his career. And that was terrible. The other piece is I remember catching my buddy Randall Howard right as we're coming. I didn't know him at the time, but he finished second. But I remember coming into Chickamauga, and then round Chickamauga, I come up to the solo cyclist, and he latched on to us coming back into town, and I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty fast. And I didn't know at the time, but he was also in my age group, and so we come into back into transition. Had a much better transition into 2017. No issues. I come in and I look around. There's not a lot of bikes in there, and I take off and start running. I'm feeling really good. This is pre carbon shoes days, okay? And I come out and run, and I'm running these Hokas. They're almost like racing flats. And I'm running that first lap, and I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm like, I pull way back, and I think I'm doing like 630s, 640s. And I'm like, this feels easy, you know? And I'm passing some pros. I remember Matt Russell comes running up next to me. He's on the second lap. I'm on my first lap. And we chatted for a few minutes. And then I guess he had dropped his chain or something like that. And he takes off. He was running probably way faster than me. But on that first lap, I'm like passing some of the back of the pack pros. And I'm like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I remember passing this dude. He was struggling. He tried to run with me. He was a pro. But that second lap will get to you. Anyway, first lap felt great. You know, I remember seeing people, and they're like, oh, you're doing great. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going pretty easy. They're like, you're moving fast. I'm like, okay, this is going to be awesome. So I did the second loop, and I remember just coming down. Nothing spectacular about the first or second loop, but I just remember coming down, you know, get off the bridge. You make that little loop, and you come running down. And I'll never forget, they were playing Thunderstruck. I was never an ACD fan, really, ever. But that song is going to be one of those songs that, like, you always remember because people were telling me, like, hey, you're in first place or you're in second place, depending on how the tracker was. And I just remember coming through, and they were playing Thunderstruck, and I was like, yeah, baby. And I crossed the finish line. 4:21, I ran 1:29.54, sub 1:30. And I went 4:21, and I was 7th in the age group. So I was pretty excited about that. And I was super excited about having an award ceremony. And guess what? The thunder and lightning and rain came through right 10 minutes before the award ceremony, and they canceled it. And so I never got this bad boy until a few weeks later in the mail. But yeah, this was my first time winning the age group in Chattanooga as a 40 to 44-year-old, and 7th overall. It was a great day. I remember Starkey, I think Andrew Starkowicz won the race, and I remember his bike time was like 20 minutes faster than mine. So yeah, I thought I did pretty good as an age grouper though. So anyway, that's all I got, guys. I appreciate you guys listening to my rambling about races. If you have any questions about the course, if you're doing the race this year, hit me up on Instagram, Triathlon Joe. I'm more than willing to help out, you know, answer any questions. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. If you like the video, don't forget to do all the cool things the kids do. Like, subscribe, and we watch the whole video. That's all I guess YouTube cares about anymore. So anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.